Good afternoon, Debbie Allen. Nice to see you. So today we're going to be talking about Salonpreneur Magazine and about the article that you have in there, Debbie's article, which is all about from overwhelmed to empowered. And this series of videos we're just doing to kind of just elaborate a little bit more about what's in the article, so that anyone that hasn't seen the magazine can kind of get a bit of a feel for what it's about and what each of the columnists is writing about. So Debbie, can you just quickly explain what it is that your specialties are, so people know what to expect when they're going to be reading one of your columns?
Okay, so I have been in the hair and beauty industry since I started my training at Thanet College in 1980, which does make me sound ancient.
Oh, not at all.
I was 16
Yeah.
and I did a 3-year course and ended up with SIBTAC and hair and all sorts. So yeah, I've got experience, and I'm of working in education, of running salons, clinics, and I still run a training company. But I'm also, as I used to now, a hypnotherapist and mindset coach, because we've done extensive training that's ongoing. And so I've been doing that since lockdown.
Yeah.
Basically, that gave me the opportunity to add to. I'd already done some counselling and CBT, but I didn't find those as powerful tools as the control system that we now use.
And I'm so glad you got me into that, because it's just, and although I haven't had the opportunity to use it as much as I would like to have done, but I know some of the stuff that I'm about to be doing is going to be leading much more into that kind of world. But that is a lot of what you're going to be writing about will be around that kind of mindset and just kind of getting over some of those obstacles that our brain puts in the way, because our brain does some really awful stuff to us.
God, well, I mean, that's it. It is that we've got our conscious mind and our subconscious mind, or some people call it unconscious. But for most people, you just know is that those niggling things in the head, those times that you kind of self-sabotage yourself or you doubt yourself.
Yeah.
And it's negative self-talk, and you think, well, where's that coming from?
Yeah. I've had a whole week of it.
Yeah. One day you're just deciding you're the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do all of this. And the next day you go to put it in action, or something happens. Don't know why you're doing it. You're not as good as everybody else. You're not. Look what they're doing and look what they've achieved, and you're still doing but you're not.
No.
Everybody's got this sort of alter ego in the background.
Yeah.
Putting barriers and obstacles in your way, and it's not necessarily meaning to be negative. It's just trying to protect us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's funny, actually. I think in Sam Blake's article that's in the launch edition, she was talking about her alter ego, that she's actually got a name called Maxine. But I think we've all kind of got that Maxine in our head, as like, if you use like Sam's name that she's got for hers. And I do think we've all got that that little person that sits on our shoulder and feeds either really good stuff to us when we're doing amazing, or when it's like, at the moment, we sound like this week, it's, I've been going through some different things, and obviously, like, we've just launched a magazine, so that was like massive high. And then when you do that, generally what happens is you then kind of fall off that high. And so, and it is, and at the moment I've got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm in overwhelm at the moment. And I really do need your article. I've been, we need to kind of get me back to empowered, because I was empowered 3 weeks ago.
But you are empowered. You are still empowered. You're still that powerful woman suit. However, life things take over. And I think that's what I've got here. You need to look at and prioritize. And that's when we do need to often write it down.
Yeah.
Get that out of your head. Actually, what needs your focus right now, today? What is the most important thing? It may not be that you urgently need to, as you've just said to me, your kitchen's a mess in the background.
Yeah.
Well, that's not life-threatening, is it? It's not the end of the world.
Which is why it still looks like it today, because...
And we can let Trev deal with that later. Maybe just say, look, this is not on my list, so I'm popping it onto your list.
Yeah, I know. Well, he did that.
Maybe you should have lists.
It's funny you say that, though, because this morning, like, we had quite a lot on yesterday, and he went up to his studio, and I went to sit and like catch up on EastEnders, and there was beer and wine involved, and we both went off in our different directions. We just left all the dinner stuff. So,
Yeah.
and I just was like, no, I'm not dealing with it. I'm not in a place. I do not need to do that tonight because I'm done.
Yeah.
So we then got up to it this morning, which is never a good thing. And he started doing it, and then we couldn't fill the dishwasher because there was so much in the dishwasher. Hence, my kitchen's a mess because we then, and he's like, he couldn't load the dishwasher. He was getting frustrated. We were in a lot of purple jobs today because the pink and the blue merged.
Yeah.
And it really was just a mess this morning. But now it's improved on what it was. So that's good.
Yeah.
But it's something I'll come back to later. I know I'm doing some of these recordings and then I've got to go and do some errands and it will get picked up later. And if I don't, he knows that that's on his list of things to do.
Yeah. But it is looking at what you can control at the moment and not grabbing those other things that we spoke about prior to coming on here.
Yeah.
You've got other stuff that goes on in the background and it's not a priority. And maybe that whirling stress and crap that's going on all around, don't reach out and grab it.
Yeah.
Let it carry on. Just let that blow around in the background, because you have no control over that.
No, there's nothing you can do, is there? And I think, that whole thing about like writing lists out is I do like every day I've got a whiteboard and I write down what my priorities are for the day. And sometimes I clear it.
But it's also what you must do.
Yeah.
Like getting a tax return.
We know about the whole masturbation thing. It's not good always.
But what you must do is getting your tax return. You must pick your kids up from school, There are things that has to be done during the day, what you would like to also do. So there's some must-dos and there's some like-to-dos. And sometimes we have on our must-do list stuff that actually we don't have to do. Yeah. We feel we must, but we don't have to.
Yeah.
And I think as a business owner, we've got to be stricter. It's not like going to work. There is stuff in the salon you must do, you must get through your column, but you don't come home and you don't worry about, was that rebooked? Were all the lights off? It may be the job of a therapist, but ultimately that's down to the owner. Did we pay our business rates? Yeah. Have we sorted out our VAT?
Yeah.
All of these stuff, suddenly, with so many of us becoming self-employed, particularly since lockdown, so many in the hair and beauty have gone to work on their own. And it's brilliant. Yeah. And they're working well. However, you've got to have those contingency plans, haven't you? Sick pay, as we've discussed. I've got my husband off. We're both self-employed. And it's hard to plan for that. But you do need to allow yourself some kindness. Yeah. And
isn't even, like what we were saying before, wasn't it? It's like, my husband's just been out of work. He was on contract, self-employed. They pulled the contract, but they've minimized the contract from full-time down to like a couple of days a month because of their situation. Yeah. And so all of a sudden we went from him fully booked for the next 2 or 3 months to nothing overnight. Literally, he went to work in one morning, having 3 months work ahead of him, came home and he's got 2 days work for the next month, which is, and it's one of those things you can't ever plan for that. And it's caused us quite a lot of challenges over the last 4 weeks, but we're getting back on an even keel. And I'm never one to try and hide, that's life. And like literally shit happens and like you just got to deal with it.
And it happens to us with clients, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're fully booked and you're going along, something can happen to one of your clients. Things happen, they have less money to spend because something's happened in their life, they get ill, they move, a variety of things, and they're not booking so often, or losing a few. And that's why often you see people say, oh, I'm not advertising for new clients. Well, kind of have a wait list, have something so that you can then go back to, because with the clients coming all the time, again, it's not, we think we're rebooking, we're doing a good job, we're really busy. It's not all within our control. No. All the time. No. Things vary and you've got to be able to sort of pivot. Yeah. In our line of work. And we've seen so many people do that, but that's not to say, okay, we have the other extreme. I can't turn anybody away. Yeah. Working ourselves into the ground in case. Yeah.
This
I
is it.
hit a
Then,
bad patch.
yeah.
It is finding that balance.
Yeah, and it's very, very difficult, isn't it? And I think I saw someone I know this morning talking about the sort of the myth of the work-life balance, and saying that, you know, because I think we would all strive, wouldn't we, to be working 4 days a week, have 3 days off, and it all be lovely, and we just work from sort of like 9 till 4 or something. That, you know, for most of us, that would be quite a nice way of working. But what she was saying was that, you know, she was up at 5 and was recording and on calls and stuff, because she works internationally, so she has to kind of fit with different time zones. And she was saying someone had been saying to her, like, how terrible her work-life balance must be. And she said, well, no, because at the moment I'm in build up to do stuff, and I mean, I think, I don't know what it is, she's going into a launch phase or whatever. And so at the moment, her work-life balance is really imbalanced, and she's work. But at the end of that, then she'll get her balance. And so it isn't necessarily always about that week, that day, or that, you know, that morning. It's
overall.
It's an overall balance, isn't it? That you've got to put the hard work in, so that you can then have the rest period. And
the only thing I would say, if you're building up to something, you don't want that crash and burn. So if you're on a build up and you know you're going to be doing a lot, we don't know what's going to happen else in that day. You know, I didn't know Martin was going to have this. We had a very, very short notice of him having an operation.
Yeah.
So you have to also have gaps where you haven't got them filled to the brim with everything. I think that's really important, to have some boundaries around your time. So yes, I'm doing that. I'm getting up at 5. I'm doing this, but actually by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I know I'm going to hit a low.
Yeah.
I'm not booking a call in. I'm not booking. Yeah. I'm going to sit on, you know, with your cup of tea, have a doze in front of the telly, whatever you need to do, but you have to have that time. And then you've got to be strict. If you're up at 5 on a call, you're not going to be burning the midnight oil.
No.
You have to do it, because we can do that, and we can run and run and run for ages and think, I'm smashing this. Yeah. I've got this. Look at me. Look at me. And then out of the blue, I feel like crap. Yeah. What has happened? And you don't not just physically feel like crap, you genuinely lose the meaning for life. Yeah. Out of the blue, and you think, well, I was on such a high riding. That's because your body can't do it. No. Running on adrenaline is never good. Healthy.
But it's like, you know, like when we found out that Trev's work pattern, his work situation had changed, was the day after the magazine launched. So I'd been in all the build up for it, been like, oh my God, yeah, it's all super amazing on the Tuesday. He came home from work on the Wednesday, bang. Like, okay, well, we'll forget all of that nice success I just had then. Yeah. And it's how life is, isn't it? You can't write it. For a lot of the time you can't plan for it, but you can try and build in resilience, and you can try and build in ways to kind of come back from those really difficult times. So I know at the moment we're coming out of the end of something that's been quite challenging, but we've got so many more positive things in the future. In the next few weeks, we've got a lot of really good things that are going to be happening that will then give us more resilience and give us more sustainability within both of our businesses. Yeah. Just to give us a bit more protection.
Yeah. And I think, you know, that is what most entrepreneurs have to go through. And it is balancing also when you're a mum and you're juggling, because so many female entrepreneurs still have the lion's share of organising, even if they're not at home with the kids, they're organising the kids. They're the ones who've made sure that the packed lunch, the clothes for the next day, that they're picked up on time, that they're dropped off, that take the calls during the day if something's happened, who have, because we have such a strong nurturing instinct, so many of us, they have that mum guilt. Yeah. That I'm doing this, and you know, quite often we think we're doing this for the kids. Yeah. We are, but we're also doing it for us, because we want our own little bit of independence now. Absolutely. We want our own money. I think women are used to having a bit more time for them. But after work, I'm still seeing a lot of mums then go back, and then they're doing the dinner and they're organising this and doing the bits. And I just think we need to actually learn what we can let go of.
Yeah, because I think we do kind of hold on to a lot of it, don't we? And I think as well is that then when we do tend to let go of stuff, is that people don't do it in the same manner that we would. and then we go, well, you didn't do that very well.
Well, I mean, you're a woman who
we
runs.
can be quite unforgiving, can't we?
Yeah.
We have high expectations of how we do things, and those expectations have to change when someone else's role delegated to them.
Yeah, but I think that, you know, is ingrained in us from way back when, because I can remember having a conversation with you and you said you spent hours tackling a pile of ironing. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know.
Yes, but you said to me, but I come from a family of tailors and this is what we did.
Yeah.
Brilliant, Sue, brilliant. Hang the bloody stuff up.
Yeah.
And let the creases drop out. No, you do not. No, there are things.
I know, I can't do it.
Because it's ingrained from when. And you know what? No one cares. No one would know.
I know. But I
Or
do.
just dyeing a few bits of yours. And you said, oh no, Trev's run out of shirts. Has he? Has he got no arms, no hands, no ability? No, he wouldn't do it.
In fact, we had this very conversation the other day about washing machines and who knows how to turn the washing machine on. And there's two of us in our house that do know how to do that and one that doesn't. But apparently they could read an instruction book if they needed to.
Yes. You know what? You can get it on YouTube and Google now, can't you? But we did have a little conversation the other day because I had a few things of mine to say. I said, look, I can't put it away. I do need to iron it. You're not wearing a t-shirt under a jumper at the moment. So we're on. And I was going to do it, but not there and then. So he stomped around and then said, well, where do we keep the iron? I said, we've only lived here for 25 years and it's only been in the same place for that long, but, you know.
I know, it's just madness, isn't it? It's like, it's just, I don't know, but it is. I mean, so much of this, and I know we were talking about this before, it's like that sort of like 1950s housewife stuff that we kind of grew up as our normal, and that our daughters hopefully are changing that mold and making it, and it's not necessarily going to disappear immediately, but that they're starting to go, actually, no, we can be much more empowered than our mums were, and we can actually take and claim our space. And I think whether you're doing that in business or in your home life, wherever you're doing it, you know, if to actually put those boundaries in place is so important. I've had conversations with so many people about boundaries in the last week or so, and it's obviously something I need to keep hearing at the moment, because
it wasn't something we grew up with, and that word, wasn't it? A boundary would have meant a fence line around your house.
Yeah, it would have been something at a rounders field or a cricket field, wouldn't it?
It was never. It wasn't talked about, because, you know, women from way back were there to serve. Now there are still, we will see it in Parliament, and there are some bigoted people, and you still think, did you really say that?
Yeah,
it's 2025, but they still come out with some really and put women in their place. We had a bank manager and started a business when they used to come out and see you, and you had your own business manager. And I'd done the business plan, we'd done all sorts for opening Martin's business, because I'd run businesses before. And he said to me, he said, well, you know a lot about business for a woman.
Yeah.
I said, did you need the end bit? And then he wanted to sit down. He said, oh, let's sit and have a chat. He said, then he just looked at me, oh, do you want to go and get us a cup of tea? And Martin just looked at him and he just got up. Martin just went and made the tea. He's like, you're going to push the limit now. If you're now thinking she's just, that I'm there just to make the men tea. No. I know, it's mad. Absolutely mad. And I really hope, though, that we can get, as business owners, as women, to a place where we kind of really we start making those little shifts and just start taking back our time and our space. And it is about just, you know, writing those lists down, making sure that you've got you know, we do have to make sure we've got everything covered. There's no getting away from that, but doing it in a way that's manageable and that doesn't make us want to sit and rock in a corner somewhere. And outsourcing where we can. And that may just be to a mate. It may just be to someone who you just say, look, would you mind just having the kids for 5 minutes? While I have a little clear round, because you've come home and you in salon life, you're giving. It's not like just sat behind a computer, is it? You're giving. You're the jolly one. You can't you know, we shouldn't be offloading to our clients. They offload to us. And then we're carrying that bit of extra. And then we're coming home, you know, a little bit frazzled already. To start our next job. So it is being able to offload what we can. And there are things like I offload, and luckily I've got some good people around me, and I can offload some of the stuff that I would sit and struggle with,
Yeah.
SEO.
Yeah.
It will take me too long. I've done a few bits on Google that almost drove me to distraction this morning. I
Yeah.
got there, but there are some stuff, it's far more better use of my time to do what I'm good at and let someone who's an expert,
Yeah.
like an accountant as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what? Hand you end of, there are some things that we might think we're saving money and that we should be able to do it all ourselves, but all we're doing is adding stress.
Yeah. And
So
that and we need to
outsourcing.
I think we do need to recognise that, don't we? That sometimes it's better to pay the professional that can do it for you, pay the expert that can do it for you, because it will generally come back in benefits to you when you do that. And yeah, and we can just free up some more of our time so that we can get to have that nicer work-life balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting help for all of it. I think your mindset,
Mm.
the business side, the practical stuff, if you needed a cleaner or anything, you just sometimes it's okay, and actually it's really
Thing I
good
did
to
was having
ask.
a cleaner, and I so miss having a cleaner. But anyway, that's what time for us to wrap up for today. And so just thank you so much for coming on, Debbie,
Pleasure.
and sharing some of your thoughts and experiences with me.